What's good, everybody? It is Thursday, November 10th. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We call it the Early Edge. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting, and it is not close. What did I tell you all yesterday? I said it was going to be a bounce-back Wednesday. I do not lie. Look at that glorious recap screen. The speculator, M squared. Cavs Kings late night soared into the 240s. That was no sweat at all. I was able to hit all three of I told you money line was the way to go yesterday with the action. Of course, the Maestro coming through strong. Blazers down early. They end up winning by 10. No sweat there at ours. So what a great, great day. But we can never rest on our laurels. Another busy day at the brand today. In addition to our morning show, we have Early Edge in 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time. But do not forget about the prop shop at 3 p.m. Eastern. Me and prop stars just chopping it up for about 30 or 40 minutes. You have any prop question on tonight's game or any game in this weekend, you can ask him live on the show. Then, of course, our big show at 7:30 p.m. Eastern live is our, whenever we do NFL live shows, they're our biggest shows. Props, best bets, the gem, the donkey, the goose. We got it all. So we are locked and loaded. So let's bring in the stars of the show because we're not going to stop this momentum today. And look who I have. Are you serious right now? First and foremost, he just got up 2 minutes ago. Live from Nashville, Tennessee, 8 floors below. AB, how you feeling today, big boy?
Hey, you know what? Feeling good, Coach. Good to see you, Maestro, Buckets, everybody in the Early Edge crew. I want to say, yeah, you're right. I'm kidding. It wasn't 2 minutes ago. But I'll say this. You were speaking about the prop shop. You know what? We got a little surprise for everybody today on the prop shop. Make sure turn on your notifications, YouTube, podcast, everything. You name it. However you consume the Early Edge, turn those notifications on because Coach has a big surprise coming for you today. And also, not to take too much time, but if you've ever gone through a week and a half where you've just had your teeth kicked in of betting, yeah, you know what? This is what it looks like. Me. So just let you know, it's out there. It happens. But you know what? We turn it around.
That's why we have a crew. Now, it's very interesting that we've got Maestro and Buckets here together today because my phone was blowing up yesterday with people that wanted to call the final spot on the show, the Bucket seat. And I got to be honest, Maestro, you were very kind to Buckets yesterday saying, hey, if that's what the people want. But are you going to say the same thing today with Buckets sitting right here knowing that in his heart of hearts, he wants that last spot on the show? What say you, Maestro?
Oh, good morning, Coach. I'm just glad that my pick for the show hit yesterday, so I assume I am keeping my spot at least for today, unless Buckets, goes 3-0 and I take an offer. But actually, what is dominating my thoughts right now, Coach, is all of the line moves and all the quarterback situations in the NFL. Not just Josh Allen, and we've seen that line plummet to 3.5, seeming like Case Keenum will probably get the nod there. But Matthew Stafford shows up in concussion protocol when there was no clear hit that caused it. And that's raising a lot of red flags. And then Kyler Murray misses practice with a hammy. So you're talking about Wofford, I think that's how you pronounce it, versus Colt McCoy possibly in Rams Cardinals. A lot of things in flux right now for NFL Week 10.
How about what the Maestro just did right there? He gave you 3 storylines that absolutely affect the betting lines. Even before we start, that's next level right there. That is next level right there. Now, Buckets, I kind of feel like you're kind of a man on your own island. You're creating this own brand for yourself. You're doing your own little thing, and you're not even apologizing for it. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You're right. I'm not apologizing, but I do just want to point out that's why you know that the Maestro was one of the OGs. You ask him if he's worried about me coming from a spot, and he basically said, I don't even know who Buckets is. Let me help you guys with some storylines. Didn't even acknowledge really the threat coming for him. So I'm gonna lay low. I'm gonna play it cool, but we'll see how today goes.
Wow. He said coming for him. Little low, savage, very Sia Najad-esque right there. Very Sia Najad-esque. All right, let's get into it. Storylines can affect the betting lines today. I got to tell you, I'm starting right at the top because, Maestro, we got Thursday Night Football tonight. Week 10 begins tonight, and the Panthers have made a decision to go back after that disastrous, 1 for 8, 9-yard performance to P.J. Walker. Start us off.
I was the biggest PJ Walker fan, and it just really hasn't worked out. Even that game against the Falcons where he had that miracle throw to DJ Moore, he was only 19 of 36. And if you look at the underlying metrics, he actually graded out as the worst quarterback in football that day. I mean, missed wide open receivers. That's how bad the Falcons secondary is. He should have had a monster day that day for like 450 and 4 touchdowns, but he did make the big throw to DJ Moore. And then last week, 3 for 10, a 0.0 Blutarski type of quarterback rating for PJ Walker. There were a couple of drops. They only got 1 first down in the first half, and that was by an illegal contact penalty. Baker Mayfield plays well in garbage time, but then Steve Wilks goes back to PJ Walker, says it's a short week. Baker won't talk to reporters. Steve Wilks also fires 2 more assistant coaches that were tied to Matt Rule. A lot of interesting things going on in that Panthers locker room heading into tonight. But the other big story is the weather. It is supposed to rain, and the Falcons, I mean, they are run heavy no matter what. I mean, they average 34 rushes per game. I think we could see 40 rushes tonight given the weather.
Very interesting. So we got the weather. We got a run-heavy team. But, AB, we also have a trend on primetime games as of late that does not feed into that narrative. Talk to me.
Yes, sir. So, after we saw Thursday night football games, I mean, just hitting under after under after under, you know what? They've hit the over in 3 straight. But, as Maestro just said, there could be weather tonight. Now, that being said, we've seen the Panthers, their last 2 games, they've given up, on average, 39.5 points per game. So tonight is going to be fascinating. Maestro is right. The Falcons are looking to run the football. The Panthers are giving up the most rushing yards as of late in the NFL, and it's not even close. We saw what Joe Mixon did against them last week. So be careful there. Make sure to pay attention to the weather if you're betting on the total. But yes, we have seen over in the last 3.
All right. I'm leaning Falcons tonight. That's kind of where I'm leaning. Is I don't even want to touch that total, but I do want to play the Falcons. Kalo says SportsLine Edge is the best. Thanks for that 8-0 last night. But don't forget, my man also places bets and picks on the Twitter. And yesterday, Buckets, what were you on Twitter? 2-1, right?
2-1, yeah.
2-1. That's profit. That's profit. You got to follow my cappers. You never know when we're going to drop a play into your feet. But today, the word of the day is careful. Why, Buckets?
We've talked about this a few times on the show this week alone. You got to be careful where you're putting your money in these soccer games, especially with the World Cup less than 10 days out. We're seeing a lot of these normally really good teams heavily rotate their players and rest these guys that are going to be representing their country really, really soon. We saw that especially with the Carabao Cup games yesterday. We saw nothing but upsets. Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, West Ham, all knocked out already, as all of these big teams are just playing academy players. And we don't really know how to bet these games until we see lineups, with the quick exception of my man, the Guru, who somehow throughout all of this put out a fantastic Manchester City plus the under bet yesterday. So there's still money to be made, but you got to be careful without seeing these lineups.
Very, very good advice. Now, Kayla said, you just made my day, Coach. You see, Buckets, I'm about the people. You're about yourself. That's the difference between you and I. But you are a vital part of the crew, and it's time to get into our board for the day. But before we do that, we got to pay those pesky little bills. Buckets is expensive. He's expensive. Let's hear from one of our incredible partners. And we are back. For those watching on YouTube or listening on Apple or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, we welcome all of you. We want all of you here. Now, Maestro, I'm staring at a college basketball play from the site. And whether it's AB or yourself, nobody knows more about SportsLine than you. I was trying to look up the record for our experts in college basketball to start the season, and I was looking for all the losses, but all I could find was a bunch of wins. Do you know what the record is to start the year on that?
Coach, I'm glad you brought it up. It's 22-3-1. That is a collective effort of Matt Severance, Mikey, who's 7-1, Berg Betts, our new guy, 5-0. Also had a profitable baseball season. We brought this guy in for baseball and hoops. But also Micah Roberts, Zach Simony, and Mad Max Gorenstein. So far, those are the only 6 experts who have posted. There'll be a lot more, but those 6, 22-3, I had nothing to do with it, but I'm real pleased, obviously.
At most other places, everything Larry just said would cost you about $1,200 today. we'll charge you 10. Or if you're not a member yet, I'll do you a solid. Use a promo code early. I'll give you 30 days for free. You don't want to roll with us yet? Give us 30 days. All my cappers, all the names you just heard, all the simulations, all the articles, all the information, I'll give you for $0. All right, so that college basketball play I was telling you about, we're going to go straight to this. This is Matty Severance. Citadel on the money line, minus 145. You think Citadel, you don't think basketball, but you would be wrong. The last couple of years, they've actually upgraded their basketball program. Plus, they're playing a team, let me read it correctly, Presbyterian Blue Hose. I'll take the Citadel, minus 145. All right. Now, I know Buckets sits around all day, and he's like, how do I increase my brand? How do I do more than what I'm doing right now? But the bottom line is the man's a savage. The man just gives out winners, which is why he's here every single day this week, just about. So, Buckets, if you don't mind, I would love for you to start us off today. What do you got?
I am looking at two big plays today, and again, I'm staying away from the cup games. We're going to start in Spain's La Liga at 1 p.m. this afternoon, and a matchup between Rayo Vallecano and Celta Vigo. And that Rayo Vallecano name might sound familiar. That's because we cashed on them Monday earlier this week as they not only scored, but beat Real Madrid at home. And we really emphasize that when Rayo Vallecano plays at home, they are a nightmare to deal with. They're playing at home again this week. So we're taking Rayo Vallecano over 1.5 goals team total at plus 140 here. And I'm honestly surprised this is plus 140, considering they're coming into this game off a 3-2 smackdown of the best team in Spain. And they're going against the Celta Vigo side that is defensively in shambles right now. They've conceded at least 2 goals in 4 of their last 5 games. This is tremendous value for a Rayo side at home. Then for our second play, we're jumping over to the Netherlands Eredivisie. This is the top flight of Dutch soccer. We've got a matchup between Feyenoord Rotterdam and SC Camber. We're taking Feyenoord over 2.5 goals team total at a little bit of juice here at minus 140. However, Feyenoord Rotterdam are in a very unique position right now. This is a league that for years now has been dominated by the top 2 teams, Ajax and PSV. With a win today, Feyenoord gets to disrupt that. They would jump Ajax on the table and would be a serious threat to win this league. They're also just like Rayo Vallecano, that when they play at home, they are a nightmare. They've got that Bayern Munich style fight in them where they just score again and again and again. 2.5 goals at minus 140 is great value for this team at home.
All right. My man Jeffrey says, I'm at work listening. Give me some good nuggets. I believe that my man Buckets just did that. All right. A lot of people have already played your SportsLine picks. There's articles there, the Twitter picks, the early edge picks. Get them in before that juice skyrockets. Now, you know NFL is our bread and butter along with soccer. And when we can find a couple of little nuggets in different games around the weekend, we love that too. So, AB, I know you've got a little bit of a potpourri of picks today. What do you got?
Hey, a potpourri of picks today. All right, yeah, we've got 3 of them. So first off, we're going to go with the game tonight. We're going to take Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts over 37.5 receiving yards. Look, yeah, there's going to be weather tonight. The Falcons are going to want to run the football. That's what they do. That being said, when you have a team that is focused on stopping your run and you have weather and you have a quarterback in Marcus Mariota who doesn't necessarily have the strongest arm in the league, who does he look to? The tight end. That's exactly right. We saw last time in what week? I don't know what week it was, a couple weeks ago, against the same game, the Falcons and the Panthers. All right, Kyle Pitts went for 80 yards and quite frankly should have gone for over 100. He's going to have a big game tonight, so take him over 37.5 receiving yards. Next, we're going to take the Philadelphia Eagles first half team total over 13.5. If you're going to play this, go ahead and play it now. It's going to go to 14. It's going to go to 14.5. You rarely get the Eagles coming off of a game to where, quite frankly, felt like they should have lost. Probably did feel like a loss almost to them with the Houston Texans last Thursday Night Football. But they're at home against the Commanders, extra rest. They've already beat the Commanders 24-8 once this season, and you're going to get them focused on both sides of the ball. And, yeah, our man Jeffrey, you wanted a nugget? Here's a nugget for you. The Philadelphia Eagles, in every game this season, combined in the second half, they have trailed 0 seconds. Not one. You know why? Because they get big leads in the first half, specifically in the second quarter. So take them in the first half over 13.5. Lastly, we're going to play Tennessee college football here. All right, we're going to take them team total over 37.5. They're home against Missouri. We just saw Tennessee get blasted by Georgia. All right, they are going to come out and put up touchdowns early and often because, one, they looked horrible against Georgia. Two, because, quite frankly, they didn't get their offense back together. But remember, we are in the college football playoff portion of the season now. And you know what? Tennessee is ranked 5th, right outside the college football playoff. And the only way to impress these committee members is points, 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 and points. You blow teams out. That's what you have to do. Last week, we played Michigan and TCU, the two teams that were disrespected the most. Guess what? Easily covered, right? Putting up points. So take Tennessee here, team total over 37.5. And just a little inside part. This summer, Missouri's coach, he ran his mouth about Tennessee in this offense, saying it wouldn't be any good. Yeah, he's about to find that
out. This is maybe the most fascinating season we've had as far as the college football playoff is concerned because you got legitimately a couple of teams with 2 losses that could LSU. And I think we're going to see a race to the finish. And AB's advice about the teams at the top blowing teams out, take it. Take it. You cannot just win a game and get into that top 4. Not right now. Not right now. And remember, Ohio State and Michigan still have to play each other. So those teams behind Tennessee, they all still have a shot. And Tennessee's at number 5. Now, don't worry in the chat says, Maestro, I love you, bro. Keep your seat. Understand, don't worry. I'm not worried about Maestro losing his seat, even though that big old – no, I can't even call that a fat smile for Buckets because that's AB. All right.
Yeah, sorry, Maestro. Bucket. Sorry you don't get to have that one.
All right, Maestro, what do you got, big boy?
All right, well, I feel a little extra pressure because I saw prop stars in the chat, and I'm giving out a prop for TNF tonight, but I love this. The Carolina Panthers defense was on the field for 72 plays, almost 40 minutes last week, gave up 6.2 yards a carry. Here comes the Falcons with the 4-headed monster, 3 running backs, and Marcus Mariota, the rookie running back, Tyler Algier, the bruiser, 5'10", 220 out of BYU. He's the one I love the most tonight, over 31.5 rushing yards. Went 10 for 99 last week. He's averaging over 9 carries. And you know what? When Patterson is back, he is actually better. He's averaging 6.6 yards a carry when Patterson plays and under 4 yards a carry when he doesn't, because obviously Patterson is a totally different type of runner and the focus goes to Cordarrelle Patterson. But Algier can bust one. He had 1 carry that was over this total last week. The Falcons ran it 35 times. He's going to get 8 to 10 carries in this game. He's going to go over 31.5.
I love this play. Quick chat question for you, Maestro. A lot of people know you gave out the Rams yesterday at -3, and then that shocking report comes out. The Matthew Stafford, of all things, is in that concussion protocol that you talked about. So Sean wants to know, do we still like the Rams -3? The line moved to -1, but my cash out dropped 20%.
I do not like it anymore, and that was like a lightning bolt that hit yesterday about Matthew Stafford. And there was no indication of that. I felt sick to my stomach after giving that out and after playing it at -3 because there were 3.5s in the markets. Yeah. That's the only reason I gave it out was there were starting to be 3.5s, and I like the Rams at 3. So right now I'm going to hold tight, see what happens with both these quarterback situations and Kyler Murray with the hammy. That would be huge. If it's Colt McCoy, if it's backup versus backup, we may see it settle, maybe 2.5, but let's just see what happens today and tomorrow.
How did he get a concussion? Eating breakfast? Like, what happened
They
here?
said a doctor had gone back and looked at something and, after evaluation, thought he should be put in the protocol, but I'm not clear yet. Need to do some more reading on that.
These third-party doctors, yeah, they're going to be getting teams in trouble.
Maybe he was just confused at the defensive play calling in the last 50 seconds of the game against the Bucs. Maybe that's what it was, because none of us could figure that out. You dominate for 59 minutes. For 59 minutes, you dominate. But let's play prevent with 60 yards to go and 50 seconds and no timeout. Smart, Sean McVay. Very, very smart. Sinful Saint, hook us up in the chat. Says tonight at 8 p.m. in Carolina, it's going to be 12-mile-per-hour winds and 80% chance of rain. Thank you, Sinful Saint. We appreciate that very, very much. All right, it's a busy day. You mentioned Prop Stars. He has been profitable every single week so far this year with his picks. Every one. 9 straight weeks. He's never lost. Check out the Prop Shop this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Then, of course, our Prop Spectacular every single Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with Prop Stars, Sia Najad, and, of course, Uncle Dave from our powerful Fantasy Football Today crew. All right, grab your paper, grab your pencils. Here is the recap courtesy of Jake the Snake. Maestro's on one prop so far. Tyler Allgeier over 31.5 rushing yards, -110. Then Buckets, 2 plays today. A 1 p.m. start for Rayo Vallecano. Team total over 1.5. For those of you new to soccer betting, all you have to do is bet Rayo to win or to score 2 goals, and you cash it, +140. Love that number. Then Feyenoord. Oh, let's go team total over 2.5, -140. Then AB, 3 different picks. Kyle Pitts tonight, over 37.5 receiving yards. Eagles first half team total, over 13.5, -125. You heard it. It's going to go to 14. Last week against the Texans, it was 14-14 at the half. Get it in right now. Then Tennessee, team total over 37.5, -115. They will need to blow the doors off everybody they play the rest of the way, sitting there at that 1 loss, sitting there at number 5. Then you heard our numbers on college basketball. Our guys are killing it. 22-3-1. We're going to go Citadel, money line, -145. And if you're not a SportsLine member yet, do it today. Do it today. Don't wait one more day. Come on. Great start to the day. Love this crew. There's only one thing left to do, however, and I believe you all know what that is. You got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. AB, getting out of bed on a Thursday morning. Buckets, Maestro, Jake the Snake on the 1s and the 2s. I am the coach. Tell all your friends you want to have a good time. You want to be educated, entertained, valued. It's all right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.